Yeah.
What next for Arsenal? What next for Arsene?
Well, I think it's important the word you use there without getting hysterical, and I think this week there's been too many people back in the UK had gone hysterical about Arsenal. I think Arsenal had an excuse last week if they wanted one. They were playing maybe the best team in Europe last week, and they had to play them twice, and they got beat twice. So they probably had, if they want an excuse, they've got one. Today they didn't.
No.
Because Arsenal fans would have been demanding a response. The players must know the stick they're getting. You would have thought every Arsenal player went there thinking, we ain't getting beat today. I would have been like that. You'd have been like that. We ain't getting beat. I don't care what happens, we don't lose this football match. That's how they should have been going into it. The fact that they didn't, and they lost it, I think sets up Arsene for even more criticism than he got last week. And I think he deserves better. They might be having a bad time, and maybe he's overstayed his welcome. No, he's welcome. Maybe he should have gone. Maybe he should have moved on.
He's always had a habit of turning things around at the end of a season. He'll pinch an FA Cup win, for instance. What if he goes on to win the Europa League this year? Does that mean everything's forgiven?
I think as long as he secure Premier League status, I think he will carry on.
No, Arsene.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say Premier League status.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not going down.
It's not that bad.
Sorry, my fault. No, I think it's a similar, could be similar scenario like last year with Man United. You know, when you win the Euro League and you qualify then for the Champions League, he will continue.
But can you see that team beating Milan?
No, not in the moment.
Not
coming on the back
Has that
of.
team got enough to beat Milan with?
Not right now.
No. If within that team, within that squad, have they got enough, if they want to beat Milan?
I felt that was massively...
Because they may change gear, Andy, when it comes to the Europa League, those
but
boys.
You can't.
That
can't.
mindset that they have now.
Richard, you can't. If you're an athlete, or a footballer, if you're playing the way they are, if you're as flat as they are,
yes.
We've all been there at times, you know, Uwe suffered a relegation, I did as well, and I tell you, you cannot, it's not a tap. Form is not a tap. You can't just say, we're playing Milan.
If Ozil was playing for Germany this week, he'd be an entirely different player to the one we've just seen, wouldn't he?
Maybe,
so why not?
That's
but Richard, for me, is the players, they're hiding behind Arsene. They're hiding. They're waiting for something to happen. But they have to, the solutions are in that dressing room till the end of the season. They have to find that solution now against...
For themselves?
For themselves, with the coaches, with the manager.
Maybe they can against Milan.
But in the moment, they're not backing their manager with performances. Today, we all expected a really reaction from the players.
Just very... Sorry, Andy. Arsene Wenger. He's such a dignified man, isn't he? Such a charming man.
Well, I think that's half of Arsenal's problem. He is such a dignified man in every shape and form that he never shirks a question. I've never seen him leave well, he probably has over 20 odd years, but I've never seen him walk away from a question. He's always tried to answer it, as he did today. And that's why I say to you, it's sad for me to see this happening. It's sad for me that everyone's ganging up on him. I mean, and many people who are ganging up on him, Richard, just couldn't lace his boots with regards to managing a club. What that man has achieved at Arsenal, what he has won, is phenomenal. And most of the people who are criticising him, personally some of them, just don't even rate as far as coaching ability is concerned. And that's why I think that the problem they've got is, what do they do? I think they desperately want Arsene to make the decision for himself. Desperately. But I think even from that interview, I still have the hunger. I still have the desire. That's telling me he's not going anywhere.
Their season, you said earlier, very nearly mirrors that of Manchester United's last year. United won the League Cup. Were very fortunate to do so, in fairness. Big decisions went their way and not Southampton's. They went on to win the Europa League. Now, Arsenal have got 9 games left. He'll concede 4 score, and he did, in effect, there. What if they yet to go on and deliver that piece of silverware and Champions League football with it?
He will stay on.
It would be just like him, wouldn't it?
Yes. He will stay on. And I wouldn't call it a successful season overall, because I think the measurement for Arsenal is the Premier League. And I think the distance to the top 4 is too big at that stage of a season. I mean, that is the fact. But you still have a chance to qualify for the Champions League for next year.
I think that is a big thing, the Europa League. I mean, it's a tournament he really didn't want to be in. It was a tournament that 6 months ago he was picking weekend sides and probably hoping they could go out, and then he wouldn't be too bothered if he went out. Not hoping he went out, but wouldn't have been too bothered if they had exited the tournament early. The fact is now they're deep into it. They've no chance of getting Champions League football via the league. So the only way they can do it is to get as tough a team as possible when the Europa League games come along, and try and get through the next round. It's a tough one. If they get through Milan, they've every chance of going on and winning it. I really think that, because that might just be the lift they need. Right now, from what I saw today, they're going to be very hard pushed to get past Milan. I know Italian football's not brilliant. You know, you've got, what, Napoli and probably
But
Juventus
would you concede they've
moment.
got the tools to get past Milan with, that there's enough quality in that squad?
There's enough. I think there's enough quality in the offensive end.
Yes,
of it.
definitely.
My worry about them is defensively they look iffy at best. They look vulnerable.
When I see Atletico Madrid,
Yeah.
I think they are, for me, a team who has a real chance to win the Europa League. I see Arsene's team, Arsenal, today, they're conceding far too many goals. And it doesn't matter, are they playing 2 centre-halves, 3 centre-halves, 5 in the back, doesn't matter. Individually, they are not strong enough in that department.
But now you talked about game plan, and I think what Chris did really well, he was happy to concede space in these areas where they're crossing the ball from, because they know Arsenal don't cross it in. And when they do, they've got Aubameyang, but they're not quite sure how to use him yet, I don't think. Uwe, I think, you know, he's just come in, they're a bit unsure, what's his strengths, what is he going to do. So they were happy to let them have it wide and say, if you want to cross it, carry on. But if you don't, you're not going to play through us. And they couldn't play through them. Apart from the one goal, right on half-time, I thought they were really comfortable.
What do we make of Aubameyang? That he's lazy, disinterested and a passenger, or that he's so effective he needs fewer touches on the pitch than anybody else and he can still do this?
You could see he's not included at all in their offensive play, but he still scores goals and he stays at the right place at the right time. But in general, I think he didn't touch the ball enough, didn't move enough, and he looked completely not integrated in their offensive play.
I think that both are to blame. You asked whose fault is it. I think both are to blame. I think Aubameyang doesn't put himself about enough, but I also think Arsenal don't get it forward enough. I'm looking at stats, and you know I don't like stats, but they jumped at me today. Arsenal have had 68%. If I was coaching a team against Brighton, I had 68% of the football, Richard. I would expect my centre-forward to be involved in the game almost every attack, to have numerous touches of the football, to have chances at goal, attempts at goal.
But where is that 68% possession been?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I would expect, if that was my team, my front man to be involved heavily in the football match. Because it's the way Arsenal are, do you know how many times Aubameyang has touched the football?
And what is
centre-forward?
9?
13 times.
And Andy,
13 times!
But he scored with one.
and
That's a great strike.
and where is his strength? Where is his strength? And how is Borussia Dortmund played at their peak? They
Go on,
play
tell us.
a quick transition football. Their possession football is vertical passes. His strength is pace. And Arsenal's playing
been too slow.
Too slow.
Too slow.
Let the opposition come behind the ball, and then it's not his game.
Could have been
If only
2-2.
Matt Ryan touched the ball fewer than Aubameyang. Oh, come on.
I expected him to come into the Premier League and explode with excitement. Devil. Nothing's happened. Why?
Proven goal scorer over the years in Germany, but I think his best period he had under Jurgen Klopp. A lot of noises the last couple of years. He wanted to go away, China, Paris Saint-Germain, Premier League, forced himself out, what is not a good sign for me. And he seems to me he got used to a little bit to the good life. Has he still the same hunger like when he came to the Bundesliga? But still a proven goal scorer, and he will score, but I don't think he's in that level where he was under Jurgen Klopp.
One time he was the second best behind Lewandowski in Germany. Has he fallen beneath those standards? If so, how far?
I saw him against Manchester City on last Sunday, and I felt a completely committed and hungry Aubameyang would have scored there, come on the end of a running duel against Otamendi or company. He would park them, but they were very comfortable against him. And I know he was isolated. I know he didn't got the best service, but sometimes you need to force things. You need to make things happen. And I didn't saw that enough from him.
He might not be fit yet. I mean, I don't know how fit he was when he left Germany, but you know, I don't think he's played enough.
He played all the time, but there was a lot of noise. He was unhappy, he wanted to leave. And
so what I do think, if you're a proper footballer, the ones that are wearing Arsenal shirts today owe it. That man we've just seen. They owe him. Whatever they think, they owe him.
We did just see a proper footballer. David Proper.